没有走完的路不会是终点，故事的走向是自己选择的坚持。
这个故事的开头还算不错，相信过程，相信自己走过的路。
那些最激动人心的冒险，从来不是单枪匹马的挑战。
과거는 잊으세요. 내일이 새로운 시작입니다. 내 경기가 새로운 도전입니다.
我们愿意为胜利付出许多代价，改变只是其中之一。
어떤 사람이든 현재에 만족하지 않고 어떠한 사람이든 제자리 걸음을 하지 않는다.
过去的荣耀就存留在记忆中，这一抹红色要照亮未来。
为之付出的心血越多，收获的果实才越甘甜。
赛场上的事怎能尽如人意？我只想追求无愧于心。
保持微笑，胜利总会专顾你。
在尝过赢得一切的滋味之后，你绝对不会甘心做第二名。
尖矛和利刃是勇者的武器，也有最坚硬的盾和扬起风帆的大旗。
如果翻不过这座山， 他们就听不到你的故事。
这个故事的结局将由我们来谱写。为了无悔，为了胜利，为了站在世界这边。
Where normally you would take a bullet train over from Hangzhou back here to Shanghai, where the Super Bear Mall Arena is located, we have portal jumped through Zoe's portal to make sure we can get here right on time. Because although we had one match being played earlier today, there's another exciting LPL match to come. There's two more for the day itself. This one is going to be at home ground here in Shanghai, where the English broadcast is coming from. And we've made sure that it's going to be an exciting day for all of you. We've got cameras shuttering, focusing, and zooming in on everyone here. We'll make sure that we'll get the action on the exhilarating gameplay as well. Because JD will be taking on Vici in our second set for today. Rusty has also left the desk, and now Clement's going to be joining us for this second match of the week. I'm still Matthew Stewart. I'm still here. Send help. I'm sending signals, but nobody's getting them. I don't know why, so I'm being as direct as possible. I'm being held hostage. But let's get into this matchup. Come on, because we have JD taking on Vici.
And like you said, this is going to be a much more exciting match. We're leaving the bottom of the barrel to go to the middle of the pack in the Eastern Conference. Jingdong still are currently sitting in second place above RNG. And of course, we have Vici Gaming, who are around the 5th place team, so a bit stronger in terms of the competition.
I mean, JD were the team that were able to deliver the curse to RNG, if I'm not mistaken. RNG opened their new arena in Beijing, and JD were the first opponents they played against, which was quite fun because JD are meant to be moving to the same city as well. That's where their arena is going to be based, still based out of Shanghai until they can actually get that set up.
Yep, definitely a Clippers and kind of Lakers situation going on there, but currently, RNG are 0-3 versus Jingdong Gaming. Ooh. Jingdong Gaming have embraced the craziness of the meta, and they're thriving really well here. They're the second fastest team overall, and they just love to keep those brawls going.
They certainly do. They've got really good synergy with their mid lane and jungle. Now, I'm not going to name names, but BLG might want to take a page out of the JD book because Yagao as well as Clid work so well together and been just improving on that synergy since Spring Split.
Yeah, definitely. They do like to come out of the gate going really, really fast. Still our first blood team of the entire LPL, sitting at over 80% of their first blood. And the core of this team is, of course, still Yagao and Clid, moving things forward. This split, you can see Yagao's stats being even more centered around roaming. He has one of the lowest CSPMs, but he really likes to create action in terms of those side lanes.
He does. He's like, I've said it so many times though, but he's like the Jason Kidd from NBA or the Paul Pogba from football. He's an assist king. He likes to set up his team for success. And let's take a look at the young guns. They've been named here for JD, a couple of the stats that they have moving into this match.
There you can see it. The first in all teams concerning first blood secured.
Kill them all.
Yeah. Kill them all. Clid has been great at doing that. He's been a part of every single one of those kills. And the Baron raids and the Dragon raids are what really set them apart from the middle of the pack in terms of the LPL teams. Usually young teams like we've just seen LGD, BLG, they have a lot of problems securing these objectives. But this is an area that Jingdong has improved massively this split. And I do think a lot of it has to go to the bot lane.
Yes.
Yumal and Loken being more methodical in their vision control and going in together.
Because Loken was a star from Spring Split alone. I mean, when we had the Spring Split meta, it was all about do you have that hyper carry late game insurance, which JD actually relied on from time to time, but he's adapted very well to the current low-key Loken. Who makes these graphics? He's adapted to the current meta quite well.
He's not low-key anymore, man.
And he's making sure that he continues to help out with JD's success in the Summer Split.
Yeah, the big point really here is the, I believe that should be the damage share instead of the kill participation. Sorry, small graphic over there. And it's pretty rare to see a lot of these AD carries still hang on to that stat in terms of this split. In the previous split, of course, it was the marksman of the LPL, but this split, a lot of mid laners have been moving into that direction, and the teams have really been divided into two camps. The guys that rely on the mid laners and the guys that really rely on their bot lanes. And Jingdong is shaping up with Loken as their main carry. Yagal's creating space for him. Everyone is playing around him, and they're still going really heavily for these AD carries.
But they're still able to rely on that mid lane jungle synergy if they need to. We've talked about how Yagal can pull out the crazy outplay and the crazy games from time to time to actually carry a game himself. And when you look across from the side of Vici, it's only really Swift who's trying to stand up against this combo. And Vici have had a horrible start to this split, currently 1-4 in the LPL rankings.
Yeah, there's no escaping it. Vici is a very slow team. We call them the Korean team of the LPL, and of course, no surprise, they are not fitting in with this fast-paced type of meta. The only real hope, as you've mentioned, has been Swift on solo carry champions. He's been playing the Nocturne extremely well. His Nidalee game was an absolute monster. 11 kills, 0 deaths, and 8 assists. So these are the two champions that I want to see taken away from Swift. But if you do that, it's really hard to see where Vici is going to come back at you.
Yeah, because we still haven't seen too much from him other than those 2 picks alone. So once you remove those pieces of the puzzle, he has to be put on something different. Perhaps he can surprise us with something different if it's taken away by JD. But I liked what you said about them being the Korean team, how they're much slower in style, because it's very different from how JD liked to play. Yes, in Spring Split, you say, JD, they're a slow team as well, right? You know, we're going to go to 60 minutes here. These two teams just going to sit back and let their AD carries farm as if it's Farmville on Facebook, but that's not going to be the case today.
Nope.
JD are now a very fast team in Summer.
And the question is, can Vici really match them? Because talking about Koreans, their main Korean guy isn't playing. Has only played 1 game so far in this split, and Easyhoon has been replaced by Fire Rain. We haven't seen a lot of new promises from Fire Rain. He's really slow on the rotation and not very good on his individual stats. But props to Vici, they are trying to find an out in this new world. And what I want to see them do is really run a gold funneling in the mid lane, have Swift be your main carry, pick up all the gold, and Snow has been doing well for himself as a marksman. If they can move into that two core composition, I think they will find a new out.
Well, they have to find somewhere to make it into the late game. Gold funneling is one way to do it, and their lineup's going to be LD the top lane with Swift, Fire Rain, Snow, as well as Kate.
Probably our best Darius players so far in the top lane with Audi, 70% win rate on that champion.
Where they're going up against the fast and furious Zoom, Cleared, Yagal, Loken, as well as Lima.
Nothing has changed so far in this composition, but I will say that this split, they have taken a liking to playing to 3 games. All 5 of their series have gone to 3 games, and I have to say, I feel like it's going to happen again today.
I mean, the first few times we saw them go to 3 matches, like, all right, against RNG, I understand. You took the victory there as well. And then the next 2 games, like, they're just trying things out. They're trying to piece together their strategy. And the 4th time, like, oh, come on, JD, what's going on? 2 games, you can do it. We believe in you. You're a top-tier team, sitting really high in the rankings at the moment, above RNG. What's going on?
I will say they are one of our more experimental teams in the LPL, and they do like to try things out after they secured Game 1. So this is kind of an intentional trend for them. We've seen things like the Leona composition or the gold funneling that they brought on with the Mordekaiser and the Shyvana. So
the one where IG had no idea what was going on. Like, where's this Morgana? Sorry, Mordekaiser going? Is it going bot lane? Is it going mid lane? I don't know what's going on anymore.
If they win Game 1, I think we're going to Game 3, to be honest.
If they win Game 1, we're going to go
actually, if they lose Game 1, we're still probably going to Game 3. So, you know, strap up your seatbelts, be ready for it. It's going to be a long day.
Sit back, relax. We've got a long rocket ride to the moon because JD are going to take us there nice and fast. That's how they like to play. But before we get into this actual match, we still have Match of the Week later on tonight. That is going to be Invictus Gaming taking on RNG. This is the match everyone's been waiting for. We still have great action with JD taking on Vici, but come on.
Oh yeah, this is the hype matchup. The guys that should have went to MSI, Invictus Gaming, they lost to RNG 5 games in the semifinals. That cut their journey short, and today is supposed to be the day that the Shy comes back. They've said it over and over again on their social media that the Shy is coming back this week. The Shy is coming back. It hasn't happened yet, so it needs to happen in this series.
I need to see him soon because Rift Rivals is fast approaching and we haven't seen the Shy yet. He was so good in Spring Split. Why are they holding him hostage? I just want to see him play.
Yeah, we have no idea.
Duke's playing well from Invictus Gaming. I have to give him that, but just, he's not the Shy.
And here on your screen, you can see Yagao versus Fire Rain. This is why I think Jingdong should be able to take it in 2 games if they want to.
Because of the mid lane matchup? Just that?
Because of the mid lane matchup. Now, these are both 2018 rookies, but Fire Rain really hasn't been shaping up as a even average mid laner. He's always slow on the roam. His individual stats have been very poor, and I think this is the reason that Jingdong should be able to move most of their advantages with Clid, with Yagao, into the bot lane and just crush in the early game.
Whereas Mr. Toothpaste on your screen, he's been brushing his teeth, flossing at night as well, because he's looked squeaky clean in that mid lane. Very rarely makes mistakes. We've already talked about his synergy when it comes to pairing up with Clid, which makes sense. They are a team that is very fast in the current meta, and Spring was all about that jungle mid lane synergy with the late game AD carry. Now they've adapted very well. If they can continue being this fast, they're a force to be reckoned with. They're adapting to the meta. They just need to actually adapt to it and stop messing around with a couple of different strategies.
They are trialing intentionally. I have to say that they are trying things intentionally, and that's totally fine in a BO3 type of meta. What they are really good at is Zoe, Camille. That's the big combination that we've seen them run over and over again. 5 games on Zoe, 80% win rate, I believe. And teams are always trying to deny him that. They are going to let him pick Zoe on the blue side first pick, but they always try to deny the Camille away from a Clid. That combination is too deadly.
It's just too strong. That's just 2 pick champions on the top side of the map. You've got Loken playing an AD carry. You can sit back and relax knowing that his teammates can back him up throughout the most of the early game. And already Vici say, you know what, you're not going to get one of those components. We're not even going to let you have the choice of picking between them. We're banning away Zoe. Rakan hits the bench next. We have Aatrox as well as Swain going to the bench as well from the side of JD Gaming.
So this is a really interesting draft from Vici Gaming. Right off the bat, they're taking away what Jingdong is good at. And Jingdong has been the main bruiser team of the LPL so far. They really like hard engaged champions. They really like early tempo champions. So Rakan and Zoe off the table. Graves have been good for Clid as well. And for Jingdong Gaming, what's left up is a lot of these junglers. Nocturne is the big one I'm looking at. Vici does like to first pick that quite often.
They do, but they first ban out Darius, and Camille immediately gets picked up by Swift. It's one of the power picks. You have to take it when it's available.
Yeah, this is something that I think they're doing to deny the strength from Yagao in the mid lane, because Camille is the champion that has the easiest access to those level 2 ganks toward the enemy mid.
It's been in so many of the matches. 76 out of the 90 games played in the LPL, Camille has been there, either picked or banned. Nocturne has been a surprise pick in the current meta. Had a slow start, people knew that it was strong, but now teams are prioritizing this as a pick to go to, and it's Clid's champion of choice for game number 1.
Oh yeah, this is the first time we're actually going to be seeing Clid go on to Nocturne as a champion, so something new from Jingdong, setting up themselves for a global composition. They usually play poke, and they usually play bruiser all-ins, but this is going to be a new page for them.
And they're picking up the Nocturne, the Shen as well. So they're not only going to be playing the Bruiser in the jungle, but they have that global ultimate synergy, I should say, between the two. Something that we've been seeing teams run quite frequently. And we'll have to just see if that's going to be Zoom picking up the Shen, or the Shen goes into the bottom lane.
And this is the trial and error we're talking about, because Jingdong right off the bat, 2 champions they have never picked so far in this split. I can see the color draining out of your face, but this is how new teams learn. This is how new teams progress.
But, okay, we'll go through the picks and bans later, because we already have Irelia and Vladimir being picked up. But this is something I wanted to ask, because yes, JD, newer team to the LPL, they built, I was going to say rebuilt, that's a hot word at the moment, built up their squad during Spring Split, had a decent performance there. Moving into Summer, you have to expect, okay, they built up the team, Summer's where they hit at home. So they're probably going to lock in On as their final pick moving into bans. Do they still need to trial and error, or they just need to hit it home? Because 4-1's a good start to the conference play.
Well, it seems like they want to try, and to be honest, it's probably because it is against Vici Gaming, who are currently sitting at only 1 victory so far over LGD in Summer. So, you know, if you want to try, this is a great series to do it, and that's the lens I believe Jingdong's coming in with it.
Well, they're pulling out an interesting composition with the Nocturne and Shen that's long engaged, that's synergized well together. Then you have an On, well known for long initiations as well. So far it's all been about how can we start a fight whenever we want to fight. Coming out this team composition versus for Vici, three brawlers already.
Yep.
Irelia, Vladimir, as well as Camille. The band's coming through now. LeBlanc, as well as Tom Kench, taken away.
Incredibly high-tempo team from Vici Gaming right here. All three of their champions have instant burst damage, and they catch you out. It's an easy kill. So I like this from Vici. They're ditching the slow Korean style. They're going in hot and heavy and trying to find picks for themselves. What they're doing now is trying to ban away the majority of Yagao's champion, which I find incredibly interesting because LeBlanc really isn't even that much of a counter to Irelia. They just don't want him on that champion.
Yeah, we've seen LeBlanc's into Irelia into mid lane. I believe it's actually Yagao that played that matchup.
Yep.
Spoiler alert, solo kills going Irelia's way. Not fantastic when you consider how the matchup's been historically. Lucian's the final ban coming out from Vici, denying Loken one of the stronger picks. Lucian, very popular in the current meta, one of the strongest AD carries, and I believe still has the highest presence rate, meaning it's the most picked or banned champion in the LPL so far.
Definitely is. Lucian can function as a late game insurance, and he plays himself like a bruiser. So he goes into both type of compositions that we see in the LPL today. Great pick, great diversity. Jingdong, we're basically just moving down the ladder in terms of picks. Lucian's gone, Zai Rakan is gone. Then the third most picked is the Ezreal for Loken. However, this does put him on a later clock. He's not going to be able to contest in those mid-game fights.
He's not a big hyper carry either. Yes, packs a punch in the late game, but he's not someone like Kai'Sa. He's not someone like Lucian who can dash around in these late game team fights. He will hit you hard when his item spikes get there. They have to get there first. JD do have a good top side of the map to work with that. Just waiting to see what their final pick is going to be. Most likely Yagao's mid lane champion. Vici, they've got to show their hand now. Morgana's going to be the first pick in their final draft phase. Waiting for their final pick.
It should be... Oh, so this is... The Vladimir is actually going to go to the top.
Should be
that
the
Vladimir
bot.
Yep, sorry.
Snow. He's played that before.
But going with the Galio into the mid lane. Now, I think this is a good fit for Fire Rain. Like we're talking about, I see him as more of a utility player himself instead of being a primary carry. So they're sending the Irelia top to face up against Zoom, and then Galio to negate the matchup in the mid lane.
Look, who knows? I've seen Morgana go as the bottom lane champion, so it could be Galio support for all I know. A Camille going in there, and LCS debuted the Camille support when she was first released so long ago. But it should be what you exactly mentioned. Audi picking up the Irelia to try and take it to the tank matchup in the top lane played by Zoom. The final pick coming up from JD was Talia in the mid lane. So you know what? You want globals? We've got globals, Clement. You want a global? You can have a global. Zoom can have one too. It's a semi-global. You've got Nocturne, you've got Shen, Talia, Ezreal. Everything is just about how can we get from point A to B fast.
Yeah, and this is a style that Jingdong is absolutely terrifying on because they're the team that always wants to fight, and if you give them the tools to do so, they're going to fight you as soon as their cooldowns are off. So I expect an incredibly fast early game coming out from Jingdong. If they can snowball that first pick off, this game could go incredibly fast.
So tell me about this Talia pick, because yes, you're right in saying that Jingdong play very fast and aggressive, but Talia in the current meta was debuted as a jungle.
Yeah,
that's what we moved into the meta as, with Talia running smite, moving into the jungle, being very fast-paced, banned out very frequently, and after maybe week 2 it kind of died out. People were like, oh, you know what, we can let it through, and then cropped up as a mid laner. No patches have been made. What's changed?
So Talia is going back into the mid laner much more often. In fact, in the LPL, she's much more successful in the mid lane, and what she does compared to the previous patches is that she has weaker wave clear, but much higher single target damage.
Okay.
So what we're seeing teams do is that, hey, if Talia wants to make a play, but she can't leave the lane, we can just have the jungle push her lane out and have her roam. That's the new play style instead of herself being able to push the lane.
So you're saying that sacrifice coming out from not being able to push the lane herself means that now in the early fights and brawls that we see, she has better damage?
Yes, she actually has much higher single target damage compared to previous patches. So when she actually does make it across the map, she's a lot more terrifying than before.
She has the ultimate available to do so, to run straight into whatever lane she chooses to. Yagao fighting alongside Klid. Well, Zoom for the early half of the game, even a Shen to join them. That extra damage could help out, but a brawl-heavy competition coming out from Vici. We want to know if they can change their play style from slow to incredibly fast and match JD. Well, we'll find out. Let's get into game 1. I'm ready. Where is he? There he is. He's always here, Clement. where there is JD Gaming, the manager is around, ready to start the cheers for JD every time they get onto the Rift.
Oh yeah, this is going to be one of the last splits. They stay in Shanghai. They are moving to Beijing in the future, so they do want to get as many fans as possible in this city before they leave.
I'm a fan. I mean, JD has saved my life since moving to Shanghai. You know, I can order something the night before, and I wake up and the delivery man says, like, here is what you ordered. Thank you very much.
Yeah, like e-commerce is amazing in China.
We even got 2 teams in the league itself, like Suning is an e-commerce team as well.
Did you know that e-commerce is actually 50 times the size compared to USA? But, you know, going a bit too far.
50 times the
50 times the size.
I'm done. Come on, come on. This is why NALCS will always be behind the LPL. 50 times bigger. You heard it from Clement here. That's how much bigger the LPL is over NALCS. Did I get that right?
E-commerce, in terms of e-commerce.
LPL, I didn't hear the e-commerce part. The LPL is 50 times bigger.
Okay.
Yes. Let's get into this matchup though, Clement. We saw junglers start both on the bottom side. So Nocturne took blue. We see Camille taking red. Top side, as you mentioned during the analyst segments there. Audi taking it to Zoom very early in the carry against tank matchup.
Yeah, the big thing you have to notice about here is that Swift is heading towards the top lane much faster. We've seen Audi on Aurelia before, and the big problem is that when you want to go aggressive, you get ganked level 2. Junglers gank much more frequently level 2 in this meta.
I'm going to touch on that point about Aurelia in just a second, but Swift is going for an aggressive play against Clid. Gets the stun and steals the Raptor away. Will get good damage as well. Press the attack, gets procced. Knocks Clid down to about half health. So good invade coming out from Swift.
Yep. Does look like Clid was able to block out the damage from the hook shot there, but still gets his camp stolen away. And this is how you need to play with bruisers in the top lane in this current patch. A lot of times we're seeing champions that are first pick for top lane be Singed, Ornn, Mundo. Champions that you don't need to gank for and
tanks,
are pretty okay themselves.
Can sustain themselves very well in the top lane. I like that you mentioned Singed, a champion that people are actually afraid of in the current meta. But you're talking about how when you do play a champion like Aurelia, they have to go aggressive in that top lane and get ganked. So is that kind of why we see Swift shadowing that, making sure that Clid can't find access into that lane?
Yep, he's actually taken, this is not a very efficient route for him actually. It's more about going to the top lane as soon as possible and just asserting dominance, chasing Nocturne away from this sector of his map. And currently we do see a lot of Nocturnes going for a lethal tempo. In fact, all of them do go for it, and it is for that early game contest. Usually in the previous patches, people have gone for an electrocute, but they figured out we need to fight over scuttles a bit more. Lethal tempo is the way to go.
But unfortunately for Camille is just so strong right now. It's why she has one of the highest presence rates in the LPL, alongside Lucian, all champions. And often we see Aurelia being thrown into mid lane. She was originally a top lane champion since the rework. Her debut before the current meta was top side of the map, then started making her way into the mid lane. Very powerful in that mid lane, also a very safe lane to put an aggressive champion like Aurelia in.
Seeing the bot lane trades go down, but nothing really happening up here.
Limar doesn't care. Look at him, he's Gucci right now. He's not LV. It's Gucci. Come on.
Oh, and this is where we see the lack of wave clear from Taliyah happen, because you would never see that roam in spring.
Just because Taliyah would have done more damage, minions kept Fire Rain locked down. Galio's another pick that's suddenly coming back into the meta as well. We've seen it actually played earlier today, but was locked down by Zoe quite heavily. You're right in saying that Yagao is being kept in his lane by a Galio. He does have good cross-map potential. Can jump to fights, Swift locks someone down with a Hextech ultimatum. Galio is there to assist whenever he needs, but that's only at level 6. But it feels like these two compositions really start to come online, start to actually fight around that level 6 ultimate mark.
Yep, and it will be into the benefit of Jingdong so far. Okay. They have most of their combo pieces at level 6, and I think their combo is a lot stronger than Vici. It has longer range as well. A lot of true globals in the form of Shen coming down.
So where do you want to see them attack, especially with all these globals? I mean, you can go top side of the map, move into the mid lane, or even attack the bottom lane where there are 2 champions. Where do you want to see these globals go?
I would say for bot lane for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of the times when we see these plays happening is that the Shen can actually roam toward the top, try to get a kill there, and instantly go for bot lane. We've actually been seeing that play happen in EDG's games as well with Mako, because you have the teleport and the stand united.
So let's see if we do get a roam coming out from Luma to make that happen. It's good flash coming out from Zoom.
Vanguard's
But Clit is up on the top side of the map. Level 4, Audi is level 6. Does have ultimate available and flashes however straight into Zoom's ultimate, and Clit will get the rewards. First
Great
blood.
prediction there from Zoom, knowing he only had one direction to flash in, punishes him instantly. So, you know, Audi, that was a good try. If he landed the Vanguard's edge, he should have had that extra reset onto the Blade Surge and have that ability to take down Zoom, but he didn't take into consideration of the junglers. And that's kind of a weird thing to say since Camille has taken over the entire bottom side. He should have known Nocturne was somewhere around there.
And you were talking earlier about how, you know, Swift, he tracked Clit very early into the match, so Aurelia could play aggressive, but now that he's moved into the bottom side, like you mentioned, gives Clit the time to go.
Look at how bad this sets Jingdong up. I mean, how good it sets Jingdong up.
Okay.
They have the free teleport, and they still have Paranoia on the Nocturne as well. This is going to be a party in the bot lane.
But they are losing their blue buff at the moment as Swift moves into Clit's jungle to take that down. I mean, he has to pick up a level 6 through experience. Red buff is going to spawn in the next 20 seconds, but Swift hits level 6 first. So Clit's still being denied some resources. He was level 4 during that gank. Had to go back to base after he picked up the kill.
Ooh, he's going for another try against Audi. He is going to be spotted, though.
Spotted up by the ward. He's not level 6 either. From top to bottom, happy feeding at the moment. Or bottom to top, I should say. But Audi, he has to try and dance around these minions to get out of it. Stun comes through, blocked by Nocturne, but not by Zoom.
He's going to get feared.
Just back in, feared, and that's an easy kill. Clit gets another one on the top lane. Paranoia is available. Everything's good for JD.
And this is the problem with Audi's. A lot of the times he does crumble underneath the stress. This is the reason that he sat on the bench behind Amazing J for the entirety of the spring split. The players we've talked to is that he has great mechanics, great individual skill, but if you gank him enough times, he kind of goes mental boom and the rest of the game just slips away from him.
He's been ganked a couple of times, so let's keep track on his mentality and hope he doesn't run it down top. I mean, he's got a stinger available, so just looking for the components of his Trinity Force. Stopwatch is online as well, so we see two of them being picked up by the side of Vici. One in the top lane, one going into the bottom lane for the support of Morgana. Whereas for the side of JD, we have a stopwatch on Talia as well as Shen. So with level 6 being available for both these teams, are we expecting JD to start to be the more aggressive team? And if so, what are Vici actually looking for here?
Vici, they actually just need to wait for picks, and I think their main advantage on the map right now is that they do have extra pushing power in terms of the mid lane. So they want to counterattack one of Jingdong's big moves, but they have to set it up incredibly well. I think their main priority should be tracking down Clit and where he's going to use that Paranoia. Because once the Paranoia actually hits, you can't use any of your teleports, and you can't use the hero's entrance from Galio. They do have to keep very close attention to that and be prepared when Jingdong's attack finally comes in.
We'll try and get there first if they can, but you're right, the Paranoia will be able to stop them. It's been buffed before this patch as well. So it's going to the top side. Poor Audi getting ganked once again, looking to try and stop this, but even teleports to the top lane. Logan wants to join this fight and help JD what seems to be a top lane push.
This is just brutal at this point. They're going to get the Herald as well. Very well timed. It's going to respawn at 10 minutes. And the big question here is how much can Vici actually get on the bottom side of the map now?
Yeah, I'm just getting confirmation, Clement. We are now no longer a PG-13 broadcast. This is not suitable for young audiences because poor Audi is getting destroyed. That's not okay.
Yeah. This is the thing about your reputation in terms of the professional community. If people know you go mental boom, they will exploit it. They exploit it incredibly heavily. It's psychology 101.
You need to be a player like Dyrus. Get ganked? Okay, I'm getting ganked. I'm going to get ganked again. I'm going to die. It's okay. That's the mentality you want to have. I don't think Audi's shown any signs of mental weakness or faults just yet. We've just seen him die.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, he's being targeted. Now the question is, can he recover from this? And that's where we really get to see if his mental state has deteriorated.
Yeah, and I just think that Audi individually is such a great player, and he has Swift as a jungler as well, but they've shown a complete lack of synergy. Like, the two best players on the team, and they don't work with each other well, and that's such a waste of talent. Honestly, I feel like if Vici have just one extra good carry, they're probably a middle-of-the-pack team rather than a bottom.
I mean, the sad thing for Vici is, historically, even when they were playing with Easy Who and a little bit more, you know, that Endless and Caveman in the bottom lane, Vici was all about, we're a really strong top-side team who sacrifices our top lane strength to protect the bottom lane, and then collectively, at about 14 minutes, we win a team fight.
Pretty much.
They brought in Swift, like, great, now he's going to add in the aggressiveness. He did, but only he did. And now Audis are like, great, we're going to see two people be aggressive. Not going to be the case. Swift actually going for a very heavy dive. Ultimate's going to come out from Galio, locking down this tank. 4-man dive, as mentioned. Mahjong in the bottom lane. Vici get a pick.
Yep, no answer coming out from Jingdong. They've actually taken a very long time securing that tower and the Herald. I actually think they should not have pushed towards the tier 2 in the top lane. That wasted them a ton of time. There wasn't really a chance that they could actually take that objective, and this is the reason Vici has so much tempo to execute that 4-man dive in the bot.
They don't just give the objective away for free, however. JDG move towards the Rift Herald, the other neutral objective standing on the map, and it will be Clip that picks it up. So they sacrifice a turret, they lose a kill, but they still Rift Herald, and they might be trying to push for a use here in the top lane. A single charge would be enough to take down that turret.
Still looking for it, but I don't actually think placing it here is the best idea. It doesn't open up the map any further.
So you want to see it
should be mid. 100% should be mid. Give Yagal the tools to start roaming because he's not really able to push out this lane against someone like Galio.
Okay, right now Audi is the one trying to deal with
this is a stabilizing move, basically.
Stabilizing move coming up from Vici, trying to make sure that
this is a short lane. You're not going to get picked on. Wait till your flash is up. We're going to put you here for now.
And it's kind of why we see Irelia in the mid lane as well. We were talking about earlier, like safe lane, so
yeah,
make sure his mental doesn't go boom. Say, hey, we'll protect you. It's fine. Uncle Galio is going towards the top side of the map. I've got my proto belt. I've got my little ring, my boots. I'm good. I'm up against an Ezreal, so I'm fine. But let's see if that stabilizes for Vici. I'm curious to see how JD actually can set up for this Rift Herald though, because as much as that's the part of the map that you actually break open, there needs to be steps along the way to get there, because Vici are just not going to give up their mid lane tower.
They still need one pushing lane on the map, and so far that's not really happening. Ezreal, of course, not a champion that really has the wave clear, and at this point, Zoom's not going to have a very good time against Out. Like, if left alone, I actually think he's under a tremendous amount of pressure. So they're still looking for a way on Jingdong to really divvy up Vici's team and give them that chance to use the Herald mid.
So far, nothing much being seen at the two squads. Vici, they're a very well-known esports organization. They've got multiple esports teams. Have looked promising from time to time in the LPL, but never been convincing in that. JD, like you said, young, new organization, ready to make an impact in Summer Split. They're going to start in this match by taking a small lead against Vici. They're trying to use the Rift Herald mid lane, and in fact, Yagal's going to cut off the remaining members here, make sure no one can join. There's nowhere for them to run. Loken now going to join, as is Manamune, as well as a Sheen. So does good damage and good poke damage at that. So they deal with the Rift Herald quite nicely. They get chip damage to the mid lane out to turret, but they don't get the objective itself.
Yeah, it's really important to watch in these team fights the two members that can go into Jingdong's composition. I'm talking about Snow and Camille. If they go in, they can be instantly followed up with the hero's entrance from Fire Rain. So that was actually a very dangerous situation from Jingdong. Jingdong are the global team. They want pickoffs, but they don't want to fight the 5v5 versus Vici.
Both teams just clearing out wards, a little bit of a stalemate 14 minutes in. Almost going according to Vici's plan, you could say. They want to play slower. It's the type of pace they'd be okay with. Losing 1,000 gold every 10 minutes, that's not too bad of a deficit to be in if you want to go to 40-50 minutes into the match. But is that what Vici want? Do they want to go late game? Do they want to slow down this pace?
I would definitely say yes. If you look at Jingdong, their two main carries are fairly fragile, and Aurelia is great at following those champions up. If you go to the 40-minute mark and Vici gets a fight where they can have Audi and Snow in the backline at once, I think it's instantly death for Jingdong Gaming. So dragging out the game definitely favors Vici.
Still got to look for those item spikes though. I mean, Protobelt was picked up by Galio, so not a tank Galio that we were used to seeing, or the ability power around, even Sork Boots and a blasting one now. Spellbinder was picked up by Snow, big ability for him. He's gone for the Electrocute on Vladimir. So no Predator, no crazy things coming out from him.
Yep, Electrocute has been the main one we've been seeing on the bot lane Vladimir's. Does give you a lot of burst damage against your opponent marksman.
Give me that Predator Vladimir. I know it's a mid lane Vladimir thing, but so good.
There's less uses of it now since, you know, you get it from Spellbinders anyway.
True, you get it from Nimbus Cloak now as well. If Vladimir can find his ultimate, gets movement speed anyway. And both teams setting up for this Dragon though. It's going to be Nocturne that starts this fight, collapsing onto the Galio, flicked back by Yagao. Could be the first pick, but he's very tanky. Fiery, why are you flashing into the Dragon Pit? Gets taken down by Zoom. However, Clint falls shortly after. Nocturne's going to be the casualty from JD's side of the map. Logan in a bit of trouble. Throws out the True Shot Barrage as well. Just splits the wickets, doesn't get anything for it.
Oh, that Aftershock had to be the MVP in that fight because the Galio took damage from 5 people and made it alive until Audi could join the fight after the Paranoia. So, looking at that execution, I thought Jingdong had it in the bag, but Vici able to turn it around.
Good setup, but the collapse onto the AP carry from the mid lane. It didn't look like it. He looked like a Leona.
Yeah. No Triforce from Ezreal yet. The entire team lacking a lot of damage, and of course, Galio very resistant to AP damage coming out from the Taliyah.
Another play in the mid lane though. Ultimate coming from Yaku to try and stop this. Good
out.
Tash coming out from Luma, but flash away from Caveman, even better. Still lands a kill as Yagao throws another rock, forces the cancel of the teleport. Coming out from Fire Rain as he respawns, but JD do get the pick they were looking for, now pushing for mid lane outer turret.
Yep, good use of the Taliyah wall right there, and that was a great flash from Caveman to get out of the position, the situation, but unfortunately Swift, I think, overstayed his welcome. He didn't really need to be in that position if he just backed out.
He was one of the people caught in that ultimate. What's he doing there?
Yeah, like he has the hook shot to move away, actually, from the wall.
So JD are trying to speed up this match. Pick up another turret for themselves. They've got access to mid lane. Fire Rain, can he do it?
Ooh. Oh!
Force the smite out of Clint, make sure that it doesn't go away without any contest. So Dragon number 2 going to JD with a nice 2,000 gold cushion for themselves as we approach closer and closer to the 20-minute mark, where we will see Baron spawn.
The big item breakpoint for Taliyah right now is the 2-item breakpoint, where we see the Morello, the armor pen for that, the magic penetration for that come out, and also the burst damage for the Luden. This is when she's the most deadly, and I want to see if Jingdong can actually get one of those side lanes to start pushing for themselves, open up the map, and use that 2-item spike from Yagao.
Let's see, they've got the globals to do it as well. Often we've seen the Nocturne Shen combo attack a portion of the map so they can get rid of the teleports available. Audi still has his, Snow has his own as well. There's just too many teleports in the current meta coming.
Oh yeah, it's so hard to keep track of all of the moving pieces. You have 3 teleports, 5 teleports total in this game. Anyone can come in at an instant, and I think the amount of teleports is what has been buffing Nocturne. He's the #1 play rate jungler so far in both the LCK and the LPL. And his ability to deny the other team from using their teleports is the main reason. Oh, great catch!
What the heck, Yagao? Why are you so good at this video game? Nocturne says thank you very much. I'll take the alley-oop. I'll get the slam dunk. Snow, you're next. Flashing over the wall. Zoom throws out the on-horn, but the bouncy castle gets 2. Loken's next. Piling on in. Taliyah wall gets built as well. Lumao looking for the Shadow Dash, not faking anyone out with that flash. Not available. Gets the W, flashes forward. Let's get him, Loken. Picks up 3 for JD. What a fantastic start to the fight.
And I thought Yagao was going to fall down in that rush. Vici Gaming, they were standing on a control ward. 3 people waiting. They had the Aurelia in place, but Yagao called their bluff. It's like, I know what's in your playbook. This is your only move. Bye-bye.
Vici thought they were hunting him, but he's too squeaky. Come on. He's brushed his teeth today. He's ready. He had his wheat bix for breakfast. He's ready for this matchup. It was clean. It was pristine. And JD are now 4,000 gold ahead after taking a top lane in a turret.
Oh, he even had the perfect timing for the comeback on Swift. That completely read like an open book on Vici's side right there.
Whew. Good start to the game coming out from JD. And we didn't get to see the teleports being denied by Nocturne in that fight because it was Vici setting up for the play. But you were saying how crucial his ultimate is. And sometimes, you know what? Just picks you up a free kill. You're already at 1 hit point. Yep. Why not? I'll take it.
Oh, so this is the start of the fight. So Vici Gaming were trying to play really cheekily. Oh, but the vision that stayed after the ward died, that 1-second vision, allowed Swift and the 3-man to be spotted out here. Perfect timing, goes in, denies the Camille Hextech ultimatum. And at this point, Vici members are already slow. They have 2 teleports they haven't used, they can't use, in fact, and 2 members are already dead.
Loken as well, not afraid to go aggressive, knows his teams. You know, we've got a couple of picks. I can risk it a bit more for the brisket, and it takes it home for JD, getting that 3rd kill in the team fight. 8-2 in kills in favor of JD, a 4,000 gold lead. Dragon apiece, and they've got a couple of turrets to work with. Yagao playing very well, setting his team up for success once again. Has the Ludens available, but Loken's also coming online. Now this is where we start to see him try to take over the game. Trinity Force, as well as a fully stacked Mirror Mana complete, and he still has his perfect timing stopwatch in case he gets into a sticky situation.
Definitely a great mid-game from Ezreal. However, we have been seeing most Ezreal builds do go later into the game. They really spike harder when they have that Blade of the Ruin King. Gives them a lot of peel ability to get away from bruiser compositions these days. Overall, still a great start. And watching that replay, I just have to say, boys and girls, remember that the vision still stays 1 second after you clear the wards. That was the fundamental mistake that they missed over there on Vici Gaming. It was such a small detail, but it shifted the game completely.
And if you want to take one step back, just remember one of the fundamental rules about League of Legends. There's a Garen in every single brush that you don't have vision in. So even if you don't know, check it. Check it. Make sure you check it. I learned a new word today. Clement, Rusty taught me it. Face checky.
Face checky.
What do you think of face checky? Apparently it's a word.
I think it sounds incredibly Australian.
I immediately turned to him and told him I don't speak his language. And I think I was right. Well, now I've
most
got you
English speakers don't actually speak Australian. It's a completely different language. They have a lot of their own customs.
Oh, face checky is what you should not be doing if you want to spot out members of Vici brush camping for you inside a fog of war. But could use the vision coming out from JD. An unlucky play, I'm going to say, for Vici. That's just something you don't account for. You're a millisecond or two too late. Fortunately, not showing up when that vision gets denied. Now JD going to try and continue pushing. Baron is up and online, but I don't want to push for it just yet. That's good damage. Clint's actually going to fall. What the heck? Now he's in trouble, and he's prepping to stun. Not going to get it to stop things, but they sacrificed their jungler's life. A misplay coming out from JD.
Yeah, that was... I think Clint was trying to time his W correctly, but he still got knocked up by Fire Rain, so... Must have been slow on the fingers, must have just slipped his mind, but they greeted so hard for that tower.
They did. It almost felt like they could have taken it. They just relaxed a little bit more, kept Nocturne alive.
Yeah, Nocturne didn't need to keep on hitting that tower. He could have backed off and let Talia just finish the job there.
Good play from Fire Rain, though. Punishes a mistake. And
nobody expects the Fire Rain.
No. Especially not when it's a Birdman chicken that throws it with his wings.
Yeah, you know, everyone's looking down on him. Statistically, he is kind of on the bottom side of the mid laners here, but every now and then he still makes up great plays, especially on his Aurelia, especially on the Galio we're seeing right now.
Pulling it back for Vici slightly, gives them some breathing room, but they're not out of the woods just yet. However, an Ocean Dragon will help them. Giving a bit more sustain, their second Elemental Dragon at that. Loken's picking up all the gold farm now as he's looking towards Blade of the Ruin King. Where's that going? Top side? Hit it!
Ooh, this is nice. This is what we've seen Wei Xiao do in the past, kind of setting up slow pushes with the Arcane Barrage from far. It does give you push even when you don't have players present. And that's actually incredibly important for global compositions because they don't want to fight the 5v5. They want you to split up and pick off your lone members.
We used to see teams like LGD do it a long time ago. Play the macro game from afar, setting up side waves. Now macro is just such a integrated part of the meta game that every team needs to learn how to do just that. Now setting up for a mid lane push, they don't have their side lanes going. That's something that Vici have done well to prepare for and could try and start a fight here, but JD pushed the buttons nice and early. Take down the mid lane inner turret, giving them even better access to the Baron buff that's been up for a couple of minutes now.
And I wonder what Audi is going to do in this position, because if he pushes forward, okay, but now he does see most of the Jingdong members heading around the Baron section of the map, so he is free. Oh, push that a bit.
There is a team fight, however. Shen's going to try and jump on top of Nocturne, locking down Galio. What was a good fight for Fire Rain the first time this happened, doesn't work successfully the second time.
Yeah, and you know, everyone now has his items. You're not a tank Galio anymore, not going to survive the damage coming out from the entire team of Jingdong Gaming. And now is the time where Vici has to decide, are they going to face Checky, as Rusty have said, or are they going to call the bluff?
Face checking or call the bluff? They need a face checking because they've started that Baron. It's at half health. Wall gets built, but Swift gets onto the other side. Luma looking for it. Look at Snow in the back lanes. Great damage. Clint's actually in trouble. Tries to eat the honey fruit. Not going to happen. But Swift will fall down as well. Zoom's in some trouble as Audi gets the second kill. Baron buff still aggroing against Irelia. Good shield coming out as Logan's going aggressive forward. He wants it. That's another arcade shift. Gets Audi. Will get Snow as well. Big team fight from Logan. He is now online. He is the carry now. He is the captain of this ship. JD turn around the team fight.
The main carry from Jingdong Gaming stepping up right there and cleaning up everyone. It didn't look good at the start. Snow got a great 4-man Hemo Plague, and every single member of Jingdong actually jumped up, ditched their jungler in the pit to chase down the kills, but they do come around and finish off everyone. Of course, the Cutlass helping out with Loken's continuous chase of the enemy team right here. Let's watch that again. The wall was good from Talia. Great engage from the Hemo Plague. Clit falls down immediately. It doesn't look like a good deal. It does look like Vici do have a chance to kind of back out and reset this entire situation. However, they do want to step up a little bit, and Loken with the flash. Nobody expects the flash to come out as the first thing here.
Oh, cool guys don't look at explosions. Look at that. Logan's like, yeah, I've got him. I've got you two. Ooh. Who's next?
Yeah.
And this is the transition from JD. I mean, Clid, as well as Lumel and Yakao, started this match. They set JD up for success. Now it's like, okay, we've done our job. Logan, you're driving the last half of this journey. Make sure we get home. 4,500 damage. Bested, however, by Snow. He had a great ultimate, great flash into the Baron pit. Just not enough.
Yeah, unfortunately, 4v5 situation in the end. 0 for Fire Rain getting picked off early on before. That's just the power of Spellbinder. That's why Vladimir is actually the 3rd most played bot lane champion instead of a marksman right there. Because you could see, Loken was really far ahead in terms of the item build path. He did tremendous damage. He had great plays. But Snow still came out ahead in terms of damage.
Might be in some trouble here, though. Clid is waiting in Fog of War. We could have ganked against Snow. Vladimir, very difficult to take down in these side lanes. You're right, he also helps his team come online a bit earlier. Imagine if Fire Rain had ultimate and was in that team fight.
Oh, yeah.
Snow jumping in, immediately you've got a Galio coming in with the Hemo Play, buffing all the damage your team does. Sticky situation for JD around that Baron pit. Not to be the case after the pick that came up from JD. That's something about the Nocturne Shen composition. You have to play well individually as well as a team, because if you get caught wandering on your own, you're dead, and before you can tell your team, hey guys, there's a Nocturne on me, you're gone. And suddenly it's a 4-on-5.
It's such a strong composition around Baron. The first instinct most players have when they see the paranoia come in is actually to back off. So you can rush Baron incredibly easily with this type of setup. And I think the problem with Vici right now is they don't have anyone with teleport to actually deal with the bottom of the bottom lane. Sure, they do have Fire Rain, but I don't really see him going down there when he has Hero's Entrance. And it's just a tough situation. What Jingdong can do is use these arcane barrages, reset the waves, and once again, wait for someone to deal with the side wave and set a pick.
They're setting up quite well, but they're going for a fight first. Clearwell as well as Ornn ultimate coming out. They lock down Fire Rain and immediately Clid tries to jump in with the Stand United. Good ultimate from Galio, protecting the team. Good man. Clid, it's gonna fall. Good 4-man knockup. Are they able to clean up that fight? Clid's first, jumping around as Audi, picking up the second one on the fight. A 2-for-2 trade, and Snow wants to jump into back lines. Vici succeed in standing their ground against JD and trade 2-for-2.
Yeah, that was a great read from Vici Gaming. They actually anticipated the initiate from Jingdong, and they had Swift waiting on the wings. They knew this was going to happen, and I'm going to call it the Napoleon from Jingdong, because that looks like a Napoleon ice cream cone right there, like 2 lines going down the wall, and the Ornn horn going down at the same time. But Vici Gaming was able to dodge most of those things, and Snow came up huge. He zoned the entire back line. Front line from Jingdong Gaming fell down with no support, and you know, that's what you want to do as Vici. You want to anticipate the attack from Jingdong and counter with your own 5v5, which you are stronger at.
That's scary if they're 4,000 gold behind and they can make plays like this, because as you mentioned, the Napoleon, oh goodness, fight starting from JD.
Swift was waiting for it. He knew it was going to happen, and Fire Rain able to participate in this fight. Gets the, actually just a 3-man, excuse me. But Snow does follow up with the flash into the back line to just zone everyone away. Actually, not the flash, but
just the run at him.
Yep.
Run at him, Vladimir. Was able to successfully zone them regardless. But he started Loken still aggressive in his fight, still 4-on-4. Loken not found, but he was doing a good job in that fight itself. Serrated Dirk. You building a dust blade there, Loken. I've seen this in my solo queue games. You're looking for that 1Q wonder. You're not One Punch Man.
yeah. Well, he could go for the Knight's Edge, I believe.
That item has been garbage since 2016
He
or
just
whenever.
wants to block the burst coming out from Snow. That's probably his thought process in this. I don't think it really makes that much sense to go.
Let's see, because Dustblade is the solo queue item. No, it's we're both wrong. Clement, let's.
Oh,
we're
okay,
leaving.
okay. It's for kiting purposes.
I'm done.
You really don't see that much because armor pen in the late game usually doesn't help you out much. Everyone has natural armor, and that's an early game item. So that makes sense. He wants to stay as far as possible away from the Vladimir.
I've got an idea. Hear me out, Clement.
Yep.
Hear me out. I'm not an analyst, but hear me out. There's this other item I know of. I think it's called Mercurial Scimitar.
Quicksilver and Mercurial Scimitar.
I think
it gives you move speed.
They give you move speed, sustainability, AD. You don't need all this wacky. I don't understand. But he's built a Yoma's Ghostblade. Clement, we have to deal with it now. Audi's able to take a turret for himself in the bottom lane. And teleports are coming down here as well. This is teleports, 2 teleports before the Nocturne ultimate. They will get there in time, but can they kill Irelia? Audi still has Guardian Angel. Galio is going to jump in and Swift able to pick up the first kill for Vici. Audi will revive. Guardian Angel back up, but it backfires on JD. The teleports come out first.
Yeah, that's the big problem with the Paranoia play. You actually need to turn the lights off a little faster. If you warn them with the Ornhorn first, then it's pretty, you know, people get the idea of what you're going to do, and they're going to instantly teleport into the fight. So, you know, just a little bit missed on the execution from Jingdong.
They still lose a member in that fight. Vici only dropping the Guardian Angel from the side of Aldi, but good communication and quick trigger finger as well coming up from Snow as well as Firerain to make it to that fight.
This is getting pretty hairy for Jingdong Gaming. They're running into a lot more 5v5 scenarios, which they don't want to face at all. I think what they should have been doing in the previous fight mid is they should have sent the Arcane Barrage towards the bot lane, to the side waves. You want to split people up. Sending it mid, running it down mid doesn't actually help you in that regard.
Hello?
Okay. I don't think they're going to do it. They have no ults here.
You need to stop that Baron right now. Zoom!
Please no.
Zoom!
No.
You forgot to sweep the ward. They can see you, but they find Swift!
What?
Swift is just dead!
What?
Zoom gets a knockback as well. Snow's locked down. Good flash coming out for Swift, however, will be able to jump away. He's not there just yet.
Audi coming in. How many can he hit?
Oh, he hits 3 of them with the ultimate. Dives straight back, but flicked away by Yikao. Feels like it could be flicked back into the team. Good knocker coming out from Zoom. Making sure Audi's locked down even further. No re-engage coming out just yet. Loken's looking for access into the back lines. Back and forth fight. Both teams disengage.
But you know what? I think this actually gives enough fuel for Jingdong to restart the Baron. They actually didn't use much there in that fight.
Oh my goodness, Lumao! That's Gucci, my friend, as Orn jumps in as well. Paranoia, Nightmares, the whole works! Kitchen Sinkers more! Let's just jump in for this fight, because Yagal's feeling himself. He gets that double flick back. He's looking for more. Give another double over to Loken. Oh, he wants
go in, come on, you have the flash!
No. Not enough heat for the Snow to be melted just there, Clark, but 4 is good. 4 is good for JD. They win the team fight.
Loken, 4 people on the enemy team are dead. You have flash and red buff against a Vladimir. 100% you going for that kill, okay? That he chickened out a little bit, but overall he's doing it to win the game.
I think, yeah, smart play, you know? I think 1 kill over Baron buff. I mean, yes, if that was me, I would have done it, then died to a turret and said, you know, it's worth it. Screw Baron, guys. I don't need it.
Uzi would have done it, and he's the best AD carry in the world, so...
Yeah, but I like the idea of getting Baron. Watch Lumao. Lumao looks so good here.
Alright, this is a bad idea from Vici. Actually, Jingdong did not expend much, and they have their 2 ultimates back on time. So, able to get this great engage. Vici were really troubled. Were they going forward? Were they going back? And in that moment of hesitation, you saw Yagal with the double flip. That was game over.
It certainly was. I'm going to sound like a broken record again, but shadow dashing over a wall, flashing at the very end for it, Mike, I can't.
Yeah,
he's too good.
It's really good range on that. So, Jingdong Gaming, to be honest, that was a very bad Baron. You don't want to do that Baron call. You haven't swept correctly, and you're down 2 ultimates. That was a bad idea, but Swift made it a good idea.
That's where they were just like, you know what, guys, we're here as a squad. Let's just flex on them and see if we're bigger than them. Because if we're bigger, we'll win. If we're not, we'll run away. Worked out for JD. They won the team fight. They got the Baron for themselves. 18-8 in kills. 66,000 gold to 59,000 gold is the advantage. 7,000 in the lead. Guardian Angels are up and available. Ezreal's got a Guardian Angel for himself.
Yep.
Hello?
He just wants maximum security. Loken is the type of player that, you know, doesn't take that many risks. He actually stays back quite a bit, and he was the KDA King of Spring. So
he's got 3 locks on his door. He's got the bolt lock as well. He's locked his bedroom door. There's a safe inside the safe. There's another safe. And then in there, you open it up, there's nothing, because the safe is actually in the other room where he keeps all his belongings. That's how safe he wants to be in this smash. But look at the Talia wall coming out, trying to block Vici from having access to this turret, which is easily taken out by JD, attacking on 2 fronts. Top lane as well as mid lane are going to be their targets. Gal's just waiting outside the base, still on top of a ward. Does Vici know this?
It's going to be very difficult for Vici. They're going to have to fight through a GA and possibly, I believe, a perfect timing from Yagao as well.
Still holding on to that stopwatch, making sure that it can stay safe if a fight breaks out. Snow, getting a bit of damage on Loken. Loken doesn't care at this point.
Snow has been great this game so far, but can he actually do it? He needs to get a Hemo Plague on multiple targets of the backline.
Not gonna happen. Got a 5-man ultimate earlier in the match around Baron, but didn't have his little chicken Galio to back him up when it mattered most. JD take down a mid lane inhibitor turret, as well as a mid lane inhibitor, move towards the bottom side of the map. We're able to take a turret for themselves. Swift,
oh, but Clid again out of position.
Locks him out, the spell shield's there, but great paranoia means 3 members are gone to bounce down. Clid jumps straight back in, says, I've got a Guardian Angel, I'm fine, guys. Look at Loken. Arcade shifting forward, 80 against Vladimir. Snow doesn't have his Sacred Pool anymore, but has the stopwatch to stay alive. Chaotic team fight. Fought on multiple fronts, but JD is slowly wiping the floor with Vici. Double kill picked up by Yagao, pushing forward for the final 2. Loken's okay once again, and JD look towards the base.
Great cutoff from Zoom right there. Destroys the entire backline of a Vici and saves Clid for so long in that fight. Clid actually dropped to around 300 HP at the start of it, was able to finish with even more hit points. Of course, he did fall down at the end, but him surviving for so long really showcased what went wrong for Vici. The damage wasn't there after Ornn cut the team up.
Too far forward coming out from Swift, and the darkness separated his entire team. Oni though! Oh, he got one! Can you get the other one? Wants him! Yes! This is the savior! His mental's not boom right now, Clement. He doesn't want this game to end here, and he's gonna put his foot down!
He's going for the comeback!
Not today, Vici! Not right now, at least! I'm gonna take down everyone and their friends! Another kill for Audi, defends the base to fight another day!
And this is the team fight we wanted to see all along. That Aurelia does massive damage to these fragile backline champions. It's so easy for her to stick onto targets like that, but they don't get that type of fight until the final moments of the game. However, this could be the start of a comeback.
It could be. We saw a comeback earlier between BLG. Oh my goodness.
Oh my god, please.
I can't believe it. Please no. BLG against LG. That was a 10,000 gold comeback.
This is going to be an Elder Dragon with Infernal Drake.
They have to get it quick though.
Clid is coming back on the map. He does have the Paranoia and the Smite.
He can dive in, but he needs Vici to actually dive in for this fight. Elder Dragon's going to fall. Double Elemental Dragon. Elder going to Vici with Baron buff not up just yet. So they have to somehow use this Elder without pressuring the other neutral objective.
I actually think at this point, they could wait for Jingdong to step into their core. Like, at this point, their composition is definitely strong enough to take down Jingdong heads up, and it really isn't even about, like, the map objectives anymore. Like, they can give up the entire jungle, it's fine. They just need that one big fight, and they'll turn everything.
If they can find that fight, but JD could always say, you know what? We're gonna sit in our base for a little bit. You guys have fun with your little Elder Dragon thing. We'll wait for Baron and fight you there.
Jingdong have no split pushers. They need to find a way to finish, and that finish requires a 5v5 somewhere. Like, if Vici plays smart, it will have to come to a 5v5, and that's what's so scary about this late game.
When the time mattered for Audi, he stepped up. Ganked 3 times in a row by Clid. Multiple players have said...
thought it was boom.
Multiple players have said, you know what, his mentality, when he gets ganked over and over again, it collapses. He's not able to pull through, not able to sustain through the early and mid game. to become this beast that he is right now, Clement. But he looked so good, carried the fight, brought it back for Vici. They have a fighting chance now. Only 5,000 gold behind 40 minutes in. You take that. You're pretty comfortable.
Yeah, and the amount of gold he got for that triple kill is actually amazing. He got 650 gold off the kill from, I believe, was Yagao. And finishing Loken as well, that was his first test.
Oh, man.
I think he has over 1,500 gold from just that fight.
Yagao was 6-0 and something, and so was Loken. They were sitting on bounties on bounties on bounties. JD is setting up for a Baron once again.
That's probably like a full GA kind of team fight for him. Amazing stuff.
Look at his items.
Yeah.
He's a component away from completing his build comment. That's a scary Irelia if I've ever seen one.
They need to find the fight now, though. Jingdong is really clever in backing out. They know they have 2 inhibitors down working for them, so they're not going to take the fight here. They're going to wait until Vici has to split up.
Loken's got an abundance of money, though. He sold his Guardian Angel that was on cooldown, picked up a Mercurial Scimitar. Hey, looks like that item we were talking about that helps you out, Loken.
Probably would have helped you right there.
Now you know your Yeoman's Ghostblade? Get rid of it. I don't want to see that garbage again. Stop it. If it's Knight's Vow, I understand.
You know what?
If it's Duskblade, I understand.
You know what? Sometimes in this meta, Ghostblade is actually better than Last Whisper. Oh, they're going to catch them out again.
They caught them inside of a ward. They locked down Caveman. He's probably going to fall. Pops the stopwatch very early into this fight. Swift tries to stop it going forward. Gets the Galio. Caveman is still alive. And Swift goes into Guardian Angel to stun. Locking down the Yagal. Flash forward. Doesn't get the taunt. Clint now going to try and jump into the fight. Luma going deep as well, but Nocturne's going to fall. Double kill picked up by Snow. Zuru gets the shutdown.
Loken is going for the base.
They're going for it. Loken's in the base. I repeat, there's an Ezreal in the base. Oh, you can't stop the bots. You can't stop the bots. He's done it. JD, after what looked like was going to be a comeback, secure the win at the Nexus.
Oh, that was such a good macro move from Jingdong Gaming. They did it with the 2-prong attack. That was the fork. Do you want your queen or do you want your king? Taking the king and the game. They understood that they had the inhibitors down. The minions, the super minions were already knocking on the base. And even if they lost that team fight, they had that play in hand. That was so smart. I'm so glad for a young team like Jingdong Gaming finally playing with some experience.
Fantastic play coming out from them. Beautiful to watch. He said it's a 2-prong attack, Clement. Well, unless you order it from JD.com, you can't have your cake and eat it as well. They started the game very strong. Vici 2.
Suni's going to be mad at me for that.
Vici 2, their credit. Hey, I can buy the instruments to make a cake from Suni.com. That's fine as well. But to their credit, Vici slowed down the game, played to their style. 76 to 79,000 gold. Look at the spikes coming out from JD in that gold graph. Vici knew they had to play it slow and steady and find ways back to the match, which they did successfully. But the carry of Yagao as well as Loken.
This was a much closer game than I expected. After the early game, the collapse of the top lane, I thought Jingdong would run away with this series, but you know, Vici actually did get a couple of good team fights. They recognized that their win condition is all about the 5v5, so they did set traps for Jingdong. I think that was the coolest thing they did when it was about the Napoleon in the mid lane. They had Swift and they had Fire Rain waiting on the sides. That was a masterful play on them, and even though they lost, I felt like this game was a lot closer than a lot of people expected.
It's improvements. People can say too little too late, better late than never, but improvements are improvements. We have to compliment that. We talked about the LGD BLG game that those two teams were making some improvements here and there.
Those were not improvements. Those were just throws.
Oh, yes, one of them was, but that game does not exist, Clement. I don't know what you're talking about. We raised it from the Matrix. Nobody knows what happened in that game. But in this match alone, coming out from Vici, they were able to slow down the match against JD, but JD still executed their strategy well. And it started with, hey, we heard that this Audi guy, he's hot in the top lane.
Yep.
Let's put him in the bin. Let's make sure that he has nothing to do up there and gank him over and over and over and over again.
We do have to talk about why in a Bruiser meta we don't actually see Bruisers top lane. Okay. And the reason for that is because of the level 2 gank as a jungler. As a jungler now, if you level 2 gank, you go back to your own jungle. There is no level 3 enemy jungle waiting for you.
True.
There's only a level 2 jungle at max, so it makes the risk much lower for level 2 ganks. And that's the reason we don't see Audi actually playing Arella. Last time he did it, he got camped to hell.
And it happened here again. We saw the gank coming out from Kled. It was a good move coming out from Swift to start the game. Because very early into the match, Swift was shadowing Kled, making sure that he couldn't get the gank. I mean, it's Camille against a knocked him before level 6. You're going to take the Camille any day. But once he moved to the bottom lane, once they knew exactly where the Camille was, because today, I can go back top side map. Aurelia's free food.
And a lot of these things are actually just coordination with your jungler. This is impreventable, but the first gank, I felt like when you have Camille invading, you probably should know and anticipate the Nocturne being around your sector. So actually do blame Audi a bit for all of his troubles into the top lane.
I mean, yeah, you have to be aware of your own lane presence. You can't blame everything on your jungle. That's to all my solo queue friends.
Yep.
Don't blame your jungler for dying in your own lane. That's your lane. Own your own damn lane. But we saw the ganks coming in, were able to shut him down. And that's where we're like, okay, prophecy's going to be fulfilled.
Yep.
Audi could collapse mentally, but he didn't. He was still able to stay strong, still contributed to fights well, and in fact had a play that almost brought the game back for Vici.
Oh yeah, I just want to know how much gold he actually moved off of that game, out of that play right there, because it was 650 on the Loken. Flawless Duet does catch out Yagao for the first bounty of gold, and then he waits around for the GA. I think he finished off with the Ornn as well, so that had to be a lot of gold. How much was that?
Swift got 650 for that.
650, 650. So we're at 1,300 gold at this point. He's going to get the triple from Zoom as well. Didn't really see that number.
No, he didn't get the second kill, so that bounty went over to Swift. Unlucky for us. Swift was able to pick up that bounty, but still, I mean, pulled the max so close. What's going on? Get those. What's going on?
I'll put them on. You know, I feel like
I've got an analyst here who can't see, trying to break down this game with me. Hello? Just, you know, game's over. It's like, okay, look, we don't need to watch this anymore. He only got 300 off the fight.
All right. So it wasn't as hype as it could have been, but it was still pretty cool, and that's how the composition should have worked right there. I'm really proud about both teams. And Jingdong, once again, trying out new things. Like, I know you sighed at the start of it. You were like, I actually don't want to see them try new things.
Just play what you're good at, JD.
We have to remember,
team. Own it.
I think this was a tremendous composition. They had a little bit of things they could fix here and there. I think the Ezreal ultimate could have been used a little bit better, and they could have tried to split up the enemy team a little bit better. But other from that, I think this is a very executable composition from them, and I applaud them. This is the first time they played the Shen, first time they played the Nocturne. So it's working great for them.
Try new things and it worked. It still works around how they play around their mid lane, of including Yagao having that synergy, bringing Lumao into the mix as well, and then it relied on Loken playing in the late game.
Just think about that composition, and they actually play it correctly. They sounded Paranoia before the Ornn Horn, and everything would work smoothly. Of course, man of the match, no surprise, 37.9% of his team's damage. This guy has been the main carry, the main damage dealer for Jingdong this entire year.
He was the saving grace for JD. When they were being knocked out of playoff contention in Spring Split, Loken stepped in and said, you know what, hey guys, I can play Jinx, I can play all these hyper carries. There you go, that's the man you want to cheer for.
Did replace RD. I do understand that Jingdong originally wanted someone who would take a little bit more risks in terms of the AD carry position, but they went back to Loken and it's been doing much better.
I don't know what you're talking about. Look at his Ezreal. He was like, I'm going to arcane shift over here. I'm going to arcane shift over there. What we're going to do is arcane shift.
He didn't go for the Penta.
Straight into a break.
He should have gone for the Penta.
Because game 2 is coming up in a bit.
That's the only thing I can't stand. Go for the Penta.
相信这支年轻气盛的京东，相信过程。